Today is Monday, February the 15th, or excuse me, Tuesday, February the 15th, 2021. And I just had lunch today with a really good buddy of mine. Also happens to be a member of our live Zero DTE trading room. And we were just chatting about a couple of different things and trades, and he asked about the hedge once again. And so this is a strategy. This hedge strategy is something that I've talked about half a dozen times here in the room. I know, shout out to you, Alex. I know that you're doing it right now. I don't know if you moved from the paper trade to the real trade or not, but there's several of you I know that are working this hedge right now. I wanted to just memorialize it here in the video to have you guys have the ability to reference it here, because we're at all-time highs in the marketplace. There's probably never a better time than sitting at all-time highs than to hedge in the marketplace. And that's one of the first things that I want to stress, is that I get questions all over the time is, should I hedge and when do I hedge? And my answer is should you hedge? Yes. And when should you hedge? Always. Always. Okay. You may not be like me, but for all intents and purposes, there's a little money here and there, but basically for all intents and purposes, my life savings are in the stock market, okay? And so I don't really care where the market valuation is at. It would be foolhardy to put all of your money anywhere without some type of insurance policy in place, some type of hedge. And so I always have some level of a hedge going on, regardless. Now the percentage of the hedge can vary, but it's just prudent, guys. If you have long positions, or really any kind of positions that will lose value if the market goes down, you should probably hedge that, right? It just makes sense. So I'll show you my favorite way right now just to hedge. There's other ways to hedge, but because the VIX is low and put premiums are cheap, this is my favorite way right now. And it is a subsidized way. It's basically an insurance policy that you can buy, that the insurance company says, we will return some of your premium to you every single month as long as you don't file a claim. Okay, that's the analogy that I want to use in this example. So the first thing that you would do is find an index, and I like to use the IWM right now because while all of the indices are pushing these all-time highs, man, nothing has really shot up like the IWM. And you guys know this, that generally what leads us up in the market in the bullish times is what leads us down in the market in the bearish times. So what goes up does come down. And the IWM, I think, has the most room to fall. So I use the IWM. You can use any index that you want. But the idea would just simply be to come in here and go out and grab a leap option. So I'm going to look at this. Let's go, where am I looking? Right here. This January 21st, 2021, 340 days to expiration. And I'm going to go over here and change this from implied volatility to delta. And I'm going to go grab, on this put option here, I'm going to go grab a 70 delta. Okay. Now you can bounce between a 70 and an 80 delta. An 80 delta, a little bit more protective, a little less theta erosion, a little more expensive. We can use that. Let's be conservative and show you the higher cost hedge. Okay, but you could use anywhere between a 70 and an 80 delta. I'll look at the 80 delta here, and I'm going to go purchase this. Okay. Now, you can see that that's about a $6,800 investment. So just a couple of things that I'll mention. You need to figure out how much insurance is appropriate for you. You cannot call up your insurance agent on your house and say, I want to insure my $500,000 house for $10 million, right? They're going to send the arson investigator right over. You can't do that. You can't overinsure. You can't do that with a car. You can do that with your portfolio in the stock market. You can overinsure your portfolio. Now, just like overinsuring any other asset, if you overinsure it by 10 times, you're going to spend 10 times the amount in insurance premiums, and it may or may not be a wise thing to do, but you can. There are no limits to how much you can insure your portfolio. So you need to decide how big of a hedge makes sense to you. I will say if a $6,800 hedge against your overall portfolio is too big of a percentage, you're like, oh my gosh, I got more money in my insurance than I got out here that I'm hedging against the risk with, well, then you could use the micros. You could use micro contracts, or you could use the SPY, or you could use something that is smaller in nature so that you could break this up. But this is what I use right now is the IWM, and you could purchase this. And so I'm just going to make some notes on this right here. Is we would be purchasing the 290s at about $6,800, okay? And now I own that. And you guys understand just the concept of a long put position. If I had a long put position in place, it looks something like this, right? We get that. That as the market falls, we will make money on the transaction. And there's a little bit, you can see there's a teeny bit of theta erosion, but right now, not a whole lot. So we're not too worried with theta erosion here. What would be our worry? Well, the only worry really we would have at this point is that the insurance is not needed. This market just continues to charge higher and higher and higher and higher. And what's the risk in this trade? Well, the risk is our total insurance premium, right? We would put in $6,800 to buy the insurance, and we would potentially lose all $6,800. It's no different really than any other insurance policy. Whatever you pay in your premium is the maximum that you're going to risk in your insurance. So wouldn't it be nice if we could structure this insurance where we say, I like this, I like now that I've got a hedge in place. If the market was to come back down, this would help offset some of the losses in my long positions. But boy, I've got $6,800 tied up in this insurance premium. And, again, if our home doesn't burn down this month, the premiums that we paid in insurance, those are gone, right? We don't get those back. Wouldn't it be nice if we had, like I said, a homeowner's policy where your agent said, listen, your premium for your home is $6,800. But if you go a month and your home doesn't burn down, we'll give you back maybe $400. And then if you go another month, we'll give you another $400 back. And if you go another month, we'll give you another $400 back. And we'll give you $400 back every month, month after month after month after month, as long as you don't file a claim, right? Or in this case, as long as the market doesn't go down. Well, now that's really enticing to me, because we could theoretically put ourselves in a position where A, we are hedged against a market downturn here, as you can see, but most important, B, we could actually do it so that we could structure this in a way that we get all of our premium back over the next year. How would we do that? Well, let's get rid of this transaction right here. Remember these numbers. We are going to be long the 290 strike price put, right? So we could just come in here to next week. Let's not go 340 days. Let's just look at next week, which would be February the 19th. 2021. Today is the 15th of February 2021, Tuesday. So we look a week out into time here, and I'm going to go just outside of my expected range, which would be 222 right here, and I'm going to sell that option right there. I'm going to sell a secured, covered put against my long put position, okay? And as you can see here, the numbers on that would bring in about $119. Now, again, premium is going to vary over time, but this could roughly bring in $500 a month. $500 a month over a year is $6,000. It's not quite the $6,800 that we put into our insurance, is it? But you know what? We could tighten that up a little bit to where you're maybe selling a little bit closer into the expected trading range. And now you're bringing in almost $140 a week. That would be closer to almost $600, almost $600 a month. And that would be enough to cover our overall premium. It's going to cut down on your profit potential, but you still have profits to the downside, and you get basically free insurance. Every single week, I'm going to do this over and over again. Okay, I'm going to resell these every single week. It's a covered trade. There's no risk to the downside, and we're getting back about 1/10 to 1/12, 1/12 to 1/15 of our premium every single month. So this is how I am currently hedging this market at all-time highs, and it's something that you might want to check out as well, and if nothing else, at least paper trade it to be able to get comfortable with it. Hope that helps, guys.